Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and here we are with our injury report update from week number 8 heading into week number 9, halfway through the year, and depending on how teams' injuries are, I may start putting guys on the IR if they're out for like 10 weeks, because at this point, what's the point of having a 10-week injury if your team's already out the playoff running? But starting with the Bears, we've got Olin Kreutz still out with his dislocated elbow. And just when you're about to get Chad Johnson back from his strained Achilles, he's listed as probable this week. You lose one of your top you lose a defensive player in Madeo Williams, an 86 overall free safety that's 24 years old. And he's got 2 years left on his contract. He loses in 5 weeks to a broken collarbone. Ain't that life? Luckily for Buffalo, nobody knew on the injury list, but Roscoe Parrish and Aaron Scoble are both listed as questionable for this week. Robert Royal still out for a couple more weeks. Nobody's injured for Denver. Nobody's injured for Cleveland. No new injuries for Tampa Bay, with Cato June still out with his abdominal tear, and Jeff Garcia still out with his torn groin. Over for the Cardinals, nobody new on here. 5 more weeks for Mike Gandy, and Levi Brown, he is questionable this week with a foot stress fracture, so we'll see if that's going to help Arizona at all. Chargers, nobody's hurt. Chiefs, nobody new is hurt. But they do have the possibility of getting Chris Terry back this week with his PCL sprain. Yeah, hopefully next week Trent Green can come back, because Damon has not been leading the ship well since Trent got injured. This team needs Trent Green under center, otherwise they are screwed. It's kind of like modern day Chiefs where they need Patrick Mahomes under center. Colts, nobody new for them. Cowboys, nobody new for them, but luckily Anthony Henry is listed as probable for this Week 9 matchup. Well, for this Week 9 game for them. And 6 more weeks for Kosher. Will the Cowboys be able to bounce back and make the playoffs? Who knows. But yeah, the injury bug seems to live in Miami. That just seems to be the case, because you have Ronnie Brown out for the season. You just now lost your star defensive player in Jason Taylor for 7 weeks with an abdominal tear. You already lost Mike Rosenthal for 4 more weeks with a broken fibula. You don't have Dante Culpepper for 2 more weeks with a sprained elbow. Tavares Tillman's questionable this week with the high ankle sprain. What did the Dolphins do? Other than firing the greatest college football coach that I've seen, and Nick Saban, and not really give him much of a chance. Eagles, no injuries. Lawyer Malloy still out for 2 more weeks with his broken wrist. 49ers, Arnaz Battle, he is probable this week with his abdominal tear. Ruben is still out with his broken thumb. And David, he's listed as probable with his high ankle sprain. Jaguars, nobody new is hurt. Jets, nobody new is hurt for them. And, Ernie Sims, he strained his quad. He's out for another week. Barry Stokes is still out with his torn pec. Yeah, this week, Scott Wells, he's doubtful with broken ribs. Although, granted, I understand being doubtful after still suffering broken ribs myself, so. Although I never really had broken ribs in real life, but I can understand him being doubtful of returning this week. Panthers. Bruised shoulder for D'Angelo Williams, and he's questionable. Honestly, D'Angelo, I'd stay out. If I were you, you're going up against Tennessee this week. They'd hold you under 100 rushing yards. The next team up is the Patriots. Nobody knew, but at least Dante Stallworth is now listed as probable. Meanwhile, I think Thomas's injury was last week's. Kelly Washington was a couple weeks ago. So nobody knew here. Raiders, Cooper Carlisle, he was already hurt. So, but yeah. Brandon's still here, but he's got a buddy now. OJ Otogwe. Out for 2 more weeks with a strained quad. Dan Cody's still questionable with his torn groin. And now we have Jason Brown being questionable with his bruised shoulder. Clint Portis is listed as probable with his pulled hamstring. The Saints. Kevin, he's out now with a bruised shoulder. I am not going to try to pronounce that last name. But yeah, Kevin is out for 3 more weeks with his bruised shoulder. Seahawks. Chris Spencer is listed as questionable. Steelers. Willie Parker is listed as questionable, but Najee Davenport in that game against Cincinnati, he partially tears his PCL. So the Steelers made an emergency signing at running back because I'm pretty sure the game won't let me simulate because they'd be under the number of active running backs, I believe. So Corey Dillon is now a Pittsburgh Steeler. The Texans. And you see this one. I was thinking of going live on Twitch before I do week 9 to do like some trades and stuff. And Andre Johnson was going to be one of the guys being traded. Because if we can take a nice little look at his stats, he's got 23 catches, 274 yards, but not a single touchdown. And I was going to trade him to a team that might need his skills, his services, to make a playoff push. But one problem is he cannot trade an injured player, and he's out for 3 weeks with a strained Achilles. That's their biggest blow of all this season. And that's saying something after losing Dexter McClellan with a dislocated ankle and Amon Green, your star running back, with the broken wrist. Nobody injured for Tennessee and nobody injured for Minnesota. So hey, at least nobody is out for the year. As you can see, we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we already have 6 players out for the rest of the year. Hopefully there won't be any more, but I will see you all next time.